Hello, hello. Oh gosh, who's ready for some more mixed topics as we come to the second last day of our boot camp? How are we all doing? How was learning Git yesterday? Um, yeah, would love to check in. Just in case you haven't been following this week, we have now covered all of the content for the bootcamp, and we're just doing some mixed topics. So this is an open invitation for all of you to please, if you want to know about something related to HTML and CSS that we maybe didn't cover, or there are some topics from the bootcamp that we could go over again, let me know, and we can cover those today. So please, while I tell y'all about the bootcamp itself, start commenting. But in the meantime, hello, my name's Carmen. If you're tuning in for the first time, myself, Jess, and Etta are teaching this free web development bootcamp in collaboration with Free Code Camp. And don't worry, everything is recorded on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/@badwebsiteclub, you'll find the YouTube channel there. If not, not if not. Also, we're on Discord. You've probably seen the Discord link a bunch of times. Discord.gg/capital letters KVU, lowercase m, capital letters VXA. Schedule is here, badwebsite.club/bootcamps/spring-2026. And you are agreeing to abide by our code of conduct. So if you go to badwebsite.club/code-of-conduct, you'll find what you need there. The short version is, please, we expect behavior that is conducive to a healthy environment for a boot camp. So please act in a way that you would like others to act. And if you see anything that's out of sorts, let us know and we'll sort it out. It finally stormed here in Vienna, so it's a little cooler, but it's still warm. So, what do we got? We'll watch the stream back. I'm out of sorts. Cool. So do we have any mixed topics that we would like to cover? Maybe something you've been wondering about HTML, CSS, beyond that. Good morning. Yeah, I want to give you all a little time to think about what you would like to talk about. Ooh, Mel saying, I had a sneak peek at the JavaScript course. I tried it years ago and it was very different to what it's like now, much improved in their delivery. Vicky and NC is saying, variables and properties, again, need to get better with lining up divs. For instance, I wanted to have like 6 divs with 3 per line. How best to do that? I've been trying to use variables with media queries, but I can't seem to get them to work. Is there a reason variables don't seem to work with media queries? Nobody get mad at me, but it seems like y'all seem to ask these questions in the perfect reverse order of quickest answer to shortest answer. So let's do that. Let's start with variables and media queries. Hi. Yeah, let's talk about variables and media queries. Is quickest and shortest not the same? Quickest and shortest? Look, Baking and NC, I'm trying to talk and code and teach at the same time. Bear with me. I'm just being annoying. Don't listen to me. Mel, let's talk about, let me bring up HTML editor. We're all out of sorts. That's not true. Where's my HTML editor? I miss it. It was great. Oh, .gitlab.io. There we go. Excuse me, can we be larger, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's start with variables and media queries. Do you know what? We're going to make this quick and easy. So let's have Let me just get rid of this style here. Separate everything out so we can take a look. Why is there a random script here? Go away. So P element with hello world. Fabulous. Now let's declare some variables. As always, we do it at the root element. I can't remember if it's double colon. We'll find out. So, oh gosh, how do we define this again? Dash dash background. Nah, let's make it shorter name. BG color lavender, because I love lavender. Text color will be I don't want it to be black. That's boring. How about teal? I don't know if that's going to go. Let's find out. So cool. So body will have a height of 100%. HTML in body, rather. And the body background color will be var bg color. Please tell me this works. Whew. Fabulous. Can you all see? Yep. Cool. And color, which you remember is the text color, is going to be var text color. Fabulous. There we can see the text is teal and the background is lavender. Now, your question, Mel, is how do we do variables with media queries? Let's try one of the most common variable media queries there is, which is dark mode. I do not, for the life of me, prefers dark mode. I don't remember how to do it, so I'm going to look it up. Prefers color screen. Yeah, I can't talk. Prefers color scheme dark. Fabulous. So, media prefers color scheme dark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste my root. And here I'm going to change those variables. So BG color is going to become purple. And the text color will become cyan. I said cyan. There we go. Now, naturally, we can't see that right now because my computer will automatically change from dark mode to, between light and dark mode, depending on the time of day. However, and you all can't see this, so you're just going to have to trust me. I'm going into my computer settings as we speak. And I'm going to change my computer to dark mode. Now, I might have glitched out for a minute, but haha! All I did was put my computer in dark mode, right? And now the variables have changed. I'm going to click on automatic again. Ta-da, light mode. So Mel is asking, when using variables inside the condition, media only screen and width, blah, 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 it doesn't work for me. Sorry, I wasn't dismissing what you said. I'm just reading. See, this is why we're specific with our questions. I'm only kidding. Or am I? Okay. So, gosh, let me see. So at media, let's try this again. Variables inside the condition. Okay, let's have a variable. What is it? Small screen width. Why did I write worth? So, okay, and that's, 400 pixels. And you want, can you still see what I'm typing? Let's scroll down. Okay, so at media, I'm just going to copy what you've got here. At media, only screen and Width, small screen width. Can you actually do that? Hang on. Media query. Let's build this incrementally, okay? Maybe this question turned out to be a little longer than I thought. Apologies. Media query width. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you're saying var no. Okay. Width is smaller than or equals to, let's start with 400 pixels. So, Okay. So if the width is less than 400 pixels, it's using the dark mode, but this isn't less than 400 pixels, is it? Hang on. Oh, well, it is. I'll be darned. Oh, because I'm zoomed in. Okay, fair. But of course, that's not what you're asking, Mel. You're saying, let's build this incrementally. Small screen text. Aha! Yes. I was wondering if the reason it doesn't work might be because media is being evaluated before the variable is set. So not yes and no. Remember that media is an at rule, right? So it gets processed by the browser, not the CSS. So as far as the at rule is concerned, there's no such thing as a variable. Great question. Okay, what is this? I think I got confused with what's the terminology. A custom property, both when we talk about variables and the add property method, is the fallback done in the variable declaration or in the add property declaration? What? Sorry, what is add property? Is add property a thing? Well, it is. What is add property? That it is used to declare custom CSS custom properties. Oh, dang. So it's like a variable for lots of stuff, for several things. Neat. Let me bring that up so we can take a look together. So this property at rule allows us to name, it's a type safe variable. Interesting. I'm going to share the link here. Boop, boop, boop. So the at property is an at rule, which allows us to, it was definitely not me because this is my first time hearing about it. It's a type safe variable. Interesting. Cool. So it lets you it allows you to like create custom CSS rules. Wild. Never heard of it. Okay. What were the other questions? So we got variables and add properties. I think kind of covered that. So need to get better with lining up divs via block and inline. For example, if I wanted to have like 6 divs with 3 per line, how best to do that? Syntax states the type. Neat. If you want to do layout, did you say layout? No, you didn't. Via block and inline, if, for instance, if I wanted to have 6 divs with 3 per line, how best to do that? Bakey NNC says grid. However, I'm going to be annoying. We're not talking about 2 dimensions here, are we? We're talking about 3 per line. And the reason this is relevant is because if we have 7, then we still have 3 per line. So what we care about is the line, not how many rows. The reason I'm being so annoying about this is because it gives us the hint of what we actually need here. And it's not a grid. It's a It's a FlexJox? A Flexbox. I'm going to be the poster child. No. Let me tell you. It's a common mix-up. Remember, if you in Flexbox, the content dictates the layout. In Grid, the layout dictates the content. So going back to, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce. Is it Geddes Davis? This question. You're asking here 3 per line. That's the critical part here. So let's do that. Let's get 6 divs going, shall we? Say what again? Oh, Flexbox. Oh yes. Let me bring that up. Flexbox, the layout is determined by the content, whereas with Grid, the content is dictated by the layout. You prioritize layout over content. In Flexbox, you prioritize content over layout. Let me explain what I mean. Cool. Let's get some divs going. And you know what? These are just going to be empty divs. Let me see if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fab. Don't need any of this. Any at all. Oh, but you know what? I need a container. I'm going to put it in main. In a main. Okay. So, gosh, I don't remember how to do Flexbox, how to make Flexboxes, but that's okay because we've got the CSS Tricks Flexbox guide. No. Ads are killing me. Decline, please. Flex flow, we want to have 3 per row. So, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You know what? Baking and See, I owe you an apology. Because a Flexbox cares more about the fact that you have them in a line. But Geddes Davis is asking specifically that they want 3 per line. So it is a grid. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. But let's not beat ourselves up for that. By us, I mean me. Display. Wait. I want to see my divs. So background color lavender. No, I'm feeling violet. Good. 100 pixels. Excuse me. It is very warm. Are they like directly on top of each other and that's why they look let's see. 50 pixels. Okay. Cool. There are 6 divs on top of each other. And that's why they look like that. But no matter, because what we're concerned about is displaying them in a grid. Isn't this similar to how your site is laid out? Yeah, kind of. The color is definitely familiar. Right. We could add a border, but I kind of want to use the gap, actually. There we go. So 1 EM gap between each element, and you want to have 3 per row, which is grid. Gosh, if I get this on the first try, grid template columns, 1 FR, 1 FR, 1 FR. Hey, so there you go. You know what? I will pat myself on the back for that. Pat, pat. Does that answer your question, Geddes Davis? You definitely want to, if you're thinking of like, if the question of like ever comes up of like next to each other, 3 per row, blah, 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 you're thinking of layout. And if you're thinking of layout, you're probably going to want to reach for either grid or Flexbox. You're going to want to have stuff like, honestly, and it's just at the word layout. I would like to go back and sort of like correct myself, because I should have noticed when you said, if I want to have 6 divs with 3 per line, we are letting the layout dictate the content, which means it should have been a grid from the start. That's embarrassing. Yeah, so gosh, do we have any other questions? Is Geddes Davis just wanting to understand inline versus block better? Let's play around with that, shall we? So, what do we got? Let's bring the border. Border. 5px. Let's make it cyan solid. Cool. Now we know that by default, if we go to inspect, we're going to see that for our div styles, the display is blocked by default thanks to the user agent style sheet, which we remember is the default. Pink was a better. Actually, no, I'm sorry. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Should have been pink from the start. Anyway, the user agent style sheet is the one that is provided automatically by the browser. They tend to be fairly consistent. And so by default, all divs are block. However, we change those to be display inline. That happens? Why is it all pink? What? What? Hang on. HTML body. Let's make that height 100% again. I guess main as well. Thank you, Mel. Inline doesn't respect size. Honestly, if you want to do layout, maybe reach out for grid or Flexbox. Snack. Cool. Layout dictates the content is a bit confusing for me. Does it mean that layout is dictated by the grid versus layout is dictated by the viewport size and content for Flexbox? Yes. Yeah, maybe I'm not phrasing it right. With a grid, you're always specifying an explicit layout, right? There's going to be 3 items per column. With Flexbox, you're saying, look, put as many items on this line as you can, but if there's more space, just wrap them in. Are they all behind each other now? Let's find out. Oh, interesting. Layout dictates where the content goes. I thought viewport size and content is using both. I don't know, but look at this. This is cursed. It's just border. Oh, look, there's no height. And there still isn't. All right, they're not all behind each other. But you're saying inline block, huh? Where's that? Who said that? Mel did. Inline block. They are height and width 0 because they have no content. Well, do bear in mind, I did give them a height. Hang on. Hang on. Let's go back to inline. What if I give them a width? Okay, nothing. Really? 20? 30? 100? And they will respect it with inline block. I hope it is indicative to all of you that I never ever do this because I'm reaching for Flexbox and Grid for doing cursed things. Well, this isn't cursed. It's just like, I mean, I guess you could do a break. Hang on. Am I bad at math? Did one of them disappear? Oh, hang on. I don't know how to write HTML. There we go. I guess you could do this. Please don't. It's reassuring to me. That's good. Cool. Does anybody else have questions? I'm going to give y'all a minute. Oh, Mel says, I think inline doesn't respect width and height because they may have originally been for things like links, so it would always have content. Yeah, and I think for forms as well. Like, hang on. Can I just have a form? No one's going to hate me for this, right? So, label, what is Tailwind? Sinak is asking, what is Tailwind? That depends, Sinak. Do you hate me? I'm kidding. Okay, let's talk about Tailwind. I do not guarantee. So, couple of disclosure points before we talk about Tailwind. I do not like Tailwind. A lot of people like Tailwind. It can become contentious to talk about Tailwind in terms of preferences. I want to say that because the way I might explain it might not hide my unconscious bias against Tailwind. I don't want, and I want to also say, very important, Tailwind is, I would say, fairly widely used. Like everything else, there's a right tool for the right job. So with all of that said, let's talk about Tailwind. So Tailwind is what is known as a framework. And when we talk about frameworks in software development, we're talking about pre-written sets of code that are provided by people either via open source or via paid license, right? Thank you, Nancy. I would like us to see how to use Figma or PenPot. I don't know how to use Figma, and I've never heard of PenPot. So, and those I think are design tools. So I'm sorry, I don't feel like it would be responsible of me to show you all that. I kind of regret asking this now. No, Synaxi, I'm trying to be responsible. Anyway, here's a link to Tailwind. So, sorry, let me stay on topic. So Tailwind is a set of pre-written CSS that you can integrate into your website. Sometimes in my day-to-day work, I do work with Tailwind. Now, let me The quickest way to think of Tailwind is as a big old CSS file that provides, I want to say, dozens of thousands of class declarations. Baking an NCSS saying kind of sounds like Bootstrap for HTML. Yes and no. Actually, it's kind of almost exactly like Bootstrap because you don't actually write CSS. Instead, it comes with a bunch of predefined CSS that you just call up with classes. Mel's asking, is it like components? Someone else wrote it and you just added to an element. Correct. When I learned it was a way to use CSS inside the HTML file, but was confusing because I was leaning pure CSS. Yeah, but a lot of people use it. So it's good to be aware of it. I see what it is now, question answered. I still want to cover it a little bit, if you don't mind. So let's see. I mean, this example is nice, but it's kind of intense. But take a look. What you have here is this. What you see here gives you this. And so you get flex call, item center, gap of 6, padding 7. This is a media query. So for medium-sized screens, it's flex row. Medium-sized screens, rounded to Excel gives a border radius of a certain size. Font size, shadow Excel, rounded mid-size. No alt text. A2 Tailwind. Rude. Another flex box. Items are aligned, I think. Yeah. Big text font, and so on and so forth. Oh my gosh, are these spans for text? Y'all, why is no one screaming at the bad semantic? No, I'm not here to talk bad about Tailwind. It's not very semantic HTML. Anyway, gives you this. So doesn't it make the HTML page slower to load? It makes the HTML file bigger. Ooh. It makes the HTML file bigger because you're writing more classes. However, there is less CSS for you to write. Or none. Does Bulma still exist and get used? Yeah, I think so. Bulma is kind of an alternative to Tailwind. Is it like cheat sheets or macros for CSS? Not a cheat sheet. Think of it as pre-written classes, right? Just a bunch of CSS that is pre-written for you. Frameworks often confuse me because it's almost like you have to learn a whole new language, bunch of keywords. Sure. But again, I'm trying to be objective here. Is that the term? Am I trying to be objective or am I trying to be... I'm trying to be fair. It's good. Yes, you do have to learn new stuff, but you have boatloads of code that you don't have to worry about. You trust the developer of the framework to do a good job of that lower level stuff. So it's a trade-off. I'm so sorry I made you regret asking, Sinak. Good question, though. Does it compile a CSS file that's needed for your HTML, or do you attach the entire Tailwind library to every HTML file you write with it? I think modern Tailwind, it also comes with a little program that runs that strips out all of the CSS that does not get used. That means that the CSS file becomes smaller, and then it gets attached to your website. Hope that's helpful. There's a whole bunch of CSS, like somebody mentioned Bootstrap, that's a little older school. There is Bulma. There's some other stuff. I think Skeleton. No. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Never used Skeleton. Aha. What are the best practices for naming colors in a style sheet? Is it better to use semantic names like primary, surface, and error, or descriptive names like blue 500, brown, or dark? Great question. Um, Wait, I'm gonna answer another question uh, real quick. Have you messed around with HTMX? Nah. What are best practices for naming colors? Right. So I think we need to be careful here about what exactly we're asking. What does a variable do? A variable holds a value that you know to come back to, right? It does what it says on the tin. So your question depends on what is this variable going to do? Is this variable going to hold a color? Let's say you need to be able to refer to blue, for example. If you need a variable that is always going to be blue and you're going to use it in every context where you will use the color blue, then it should be named after a color. However, if you're going to use it in a context where it's not really about it being blue, but rather the way it's going to be used semantically, then the name makes more sense to be something like primary. I can't believe I'm bringing up my website again. I feel so vain. So on my website, for example, my variables have two names. You might see stuff like purple, transparent light purple, etc., etc. This is not a best practice, mind you. I am a human being, and I am also guilty of being messy. Okay? So yes, purple, transparent purple, and so on and so forth. But I also have semantic names, background color, heading border color, and so on and so forth. You might think, why would you have a mixture? The reason for my case, let me just open up one of my subpages here. Yeah. Cool. Is because I want to keep, so for example, I assign, no, where's background color? Background color. ¿Dónde estás? Background color. Background color. Notice that for the background color, I use a variable light gray. Why? Because, where's my settings? Where's my settings? System settings. Where'd they go? Appearance. Let's change to dark mode. Things are going to get a little, I might have crashed for a second there. Now, let's scroll up because prefers scheme root. Now, I'm reassigning the variables like background color to be the variable dark gray. So if I ever need to change a specific color, then I can, if I ever need to change a specific color, I go change the variable for that color. So you can have a mixture of the two. But let me really let me really drive something home. There is no such thing as best practices because in 5 months, they'll change. And all of the bros are going to be excited about a new thing. I forgot we had a dark mode for the Bad Website Club website. Aww. Back to light mode. Okay. So, Sinak, I'm really glad that was helpful. Am I able to write my own tailwindy things, or are you limited to only using what's already made? No, I think you can define classes and stuff in the Tailwind config file. Yeah, no, you can write your own tailwindy things. We got any more questions? I've started trying out a new way of naming using what it's for, what it's used on. Cardboard. Oh, look, you're doing what I'm doing. Fantastic. Aw, I'm so glad you all like it. How did the name of the Bad Website Club come up? Y'all gotta ask Jess about that one. We just were messing around with names one day and she came upon that. Jess is just brilliant like that. Yeah, that covers that. Does anybody have any other questions? I'll give you all a minute. Oh. I see comments coming in. Could I explain what animation fill mode is and how it would be used? I read the docs, but didn't really understand what it did. Yeah, sure. I have no idea. Animation fill mode. Never heard of it. Animation fill. There we go. Let's find out. Let me make it a tiny bit smaller. So, selected mode to start. Okay, so animation fill mode, none. Forwards. Backwards. What? Maybe I should read it first, huh? Sets how animation, CSS animation applies styles to its target before and after its execution. It is often convenient to use set all animation properties at once. Okay, so, okay, let me see that again. Okay, check it out, Mel. So with forwards, it sets this to orange before playing the animation. Backwards, it sets it, oh, hang on, do it again. I said, do it again. Wait, what? All right. Let me start over. When it's none, what does it do? It sets it as it goes. Oh, because it delays for 1 second. Okay. So once the animation starts, it changes the background color. Cool. Animation fill mode forwards. Why is that the same? What is the difference? The animation will not apply any styles to the target when it's not executing. Will retain the computed value set by the last keyframe encountered during execution. Okay. So with forwards, it'll apply the styles that were here at the end of the animation. Okay. So what about backwards? The animation will apply the values defined in the first relevant keyframe as soon as it's applied to the target. Meaning, yeah, it starts applying the background as soon as it stops. When the delay starts. It finishes forward, then it finishes backward started from, I think. Yeah, kind of makes sense. So what is both? Orange through to the end. Okay, where's that? We'll follow the rules for both forwards and backwards, thus extending the animation properties in both directions. Cool. Does that make sense, Mel? Wait, the doc say the default is none and no styles are applied up to the element. Forward means the element will retain the last. Does this mean animation fill mode is adding styles to the element after the animation is completed to prevent it switching? Oh gosh, let me read this again. Does this mean animation fill mode is adding styles to the element after the animation is completed to prevent it switching to its initial CSS when finished? With forward, yes. So it's all about ignoring the delay before recoloring. I believe so. Sinek, I love your attitude. It's still confusing for me. Gotta play with it a little. Fantastic. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully understand it. But I think playing with it will help. Chile or Austria, what are your favorites about each locale? I don't feel safe answering this question because I am a native Chilean and I am an immigrant in Austria, and I will not speak badly of my hosting country because I have to get a visa here. I have a visa here. So let's just say I am very happy. Any other questions? I mean, it's getting to be the end of the day. We can also call it some of the docs are very vague for learners. I don't know if vague is the right. Oh. I know how you feel. I'm glad it's not just me. Um, I don't know if vague is the right word. Not because I'm discrediting how you feel, Mel. I think it's more like um, I think it's more like a lot of context is missing. Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I still don't know. I couldn't tell you from top of mind what a keyframe is, for example. So I think using them to navigate around and again knowing where to stop and where to start is going to be most useful. Well, it doesn't look like I've gotten any more questions. So how about I let you all go? We've got one more mixed topic session tomorrow. I agree, Jane. Yeah, the anime like you can always suggest it to them via pull request. Anyway, yeah, let's call it a day for today. It's been it's been a lot. I'm really glad that y'all big question. Um, I'm glad that y'all brought questions. A keyframe in CSS or a keyframe as a concept. I can see what the concept is right now. If y'all want, sure. I wish I could bring you on stage. Yeah. Why don't you tell us? I mean, in the meantime, whoa. In the meantime, let's bring this back up. Maybe, what is a keyframe? Are we all gonna have a party on the last day? Gosh, I don't know. How would a party look with me just talking at y'all? Maybe on Discord, huh? Where's keyframe? Oh, why am I not looking it up? Ah, a keyframe is a frame in an animation that holds a declared variable for any property that changes during the animation. Oh, kind of like that graph we saw the day before yesterday. Needs balloons. Gosh, I get dizzy blowing up balloons. Um, Thank you, Sinak. Very helpful. I'm gonna go melt. It's very warm. Thank you all so much for joining today and for bringing your questions. Bring some more tomorrow. And don't worry, there's always Discord if you're curious about more stuff. The way you're sure you hit the exact value at that moment and the animation interpolates between keyframes to non. Okay, now you've won. Ooh, now I'm not sure anymore. I understand. But you know what? I'm going to go read up on it. But later. I'm going to go rest now. I wish you the most wonderful rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.